Good morning, everyone. We will start the webinar. First of all, I'd like to welcome you all to today's webinar on Move Past Your RPA Pilot and Scale Your Automation. We are delighted to extend a warm welcome to each of you joining us today. In this webinar serves as a platform for us to explore RPA projects, dwell into the key concepts, share case studies, and learn and unlearn the challenge of scaling the RPA process. We are also thrilled to embark on this journey of learning and discovery together. I'm Nandini, moderator for today. Now, I would like to invite Prahlad Sangam, who will take us through the agenda of today's session and also introduce us to other speakers. Once again, I thank you for joining us today. Let's make this webinar a collaborative and enriching experience for everyone involved. All right, over to you, Prahlad.
Thank you, Nandini. Thank you for the warm welcome. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking your time out for a quick session about RPA, robotic process automation. And major takeaway and the agenda for the today's session would be around introducing what is about Integra. And then we will talk about types of automations where we have our presenter, Mr. Veera Reddy, who heads our automation practice, and he heads our digital and data practice too with his team. And we will also talk about the challenges of scaling the RPA, robotic process automation, how to scale, and what are the processes. And we have another guest audience and delegate from Pix RPA, who's called Mark. He will be talking about what are the products and their insights, and what is the brief on the product, how do you get it, and what are those inbuilt capabilities on the product, and what are the use cases they have done. And at the end, we will have a small surprise on the automation garage, like how do we help you to identify the exact process, and how do we take it from there, right? So having said that, let's begin with the process. And just for a quick reminder and information to everyone, uh, people who have any questions, they can raise their hands and we can unmute and ask the questions. Or if you have any other questions around, you can type it in the Q&A box where we'll answer your questions. And Q&As we will be taking at the end of the session. Thank you, and let's begin with the process. So quick background about Integra. Integra Micro is a 40-year-old organization, 40 plus years in the industry, serving majorly in the banking and financial side of businesses, where we are into financial inclusions and more of your WAP setup, WAP stack, and we were first in the industry to bring the Unix OS on Indian design hardwares. So having a great history, plus 40 plus years with 1,200 plus employees across. And during COVID, we've done a lot of initiatives which have helped the normal life of human beings during the tough times. And we are spread across 5 regions across the globally. And we have our own copyright IPs and products, 50 plus products in the organization. And how come IMSS? IMSS is a part of Integra Micro. We are 20 plus years in the business. IMSS stands for Integra Micro Software Services, where the business was carved out because of a lot of new initiatives in the market and needed a direct approach in using emerging technologies or emerging initiatives, which talks like AI, NLP. Also, we talk about RPA, robotic process automation, and digital transformation journeys for our customers. Within Integra Microsoft Services, we worked with 15 plus. We are currently serving 15 plus customers with who are listed in the Forbes Global 2000 list. And then we have, with our practice and with our offerings, we have been able to save 18 plus million man hours in the industry. And also from last 10 years, we have top 3 customers where we are serving them for the last 10 years and above. This is not that I'm talking for because of our services and our caterings, we have been able to have the certification from CMMI Dev 3 and CMMI SVC, which talks about our process. How do we uh, standardize the process and we follow the industry standards to deliver the process with all securities and governance and everything in place, which talks about our another certification like ISO 9001 and ISO 20001. Having said that, as you understand, right, as we are in the beginning of the new uh, financial years, where there are a lot of companies who have already invested in RPA and would like to talk more about how to scale the RPA. So from here on, I would like to invite Mr. Veera Reddy, who would talk about our offerings and brief about what RPA stands for us. Veera, over to you. Hello.
Thank you, Prahlad. Good morning, everyone. So myself, I'm Veera Reddy. I'm our delivery unit head here. So let us start with first a brief on RPA. So RPA is a robotic process automation where robotic means actually which will have the capability of mimicking the human actions, and process is sequence of steps actually that leads to meaningful activity, and that collection of these activities actually becomes as process. And automation means automating these particular tasks. So that means without human intervention, what happens is it executes automatically. So in a collective way, if we can say RPA involves the use of software robots to automate the tasks that's where the previously performed by the humans. So these bots actually mimic the human actions and interact with the digital systems and software where we may be integrating one or more systems to perform these tasks actually. So when we are automating through the RPA, most of the time we are actually automating the business processes actually. Yeah, next slide. Okay. So a little bit more deep dive into the process, only into the process actually. Any process that is definable and can be repeatable in the same sequence, and it is associated with some rules. So that is the process which can be automated through the RPA. So process definition means actually it clearly states that the goal or a purpose of the process. It defines like a sequence of steps or activities that are followed to achieve a bigger goal within the organization. And the rules are actually like there will be multiple rules within a process where that can be defined with criterias. So these rules will dictate how the automation system should behave under the different conditions of the situations or scenarios. Yeah. Then there are next level is the types of automation. So usually what happens is the first one is without any automation where 100% is human. With before automation actually how the humans are actually doing the process, that's without robots actually. Otherwise the automation involves in three different types. One is with attended mode where usually what happens is the human interactions were involved. For many individual employees, actually, most of the time, what happens is we end up into the collecting the data, like accessing the data, compiling it, reformatting it, reviewing it, validating it. So these are the different steps we usually perform when we execute a task, when we collect the data and bring it to a report, or when we collect the data and enter the data into actual system. So most of the time is actually ends up into the collecting the data from different systems. So that's where actually RPA can come into picture where the user can just initiate the bot will take over the machine and it will connect to multiple systems and get the data and do required validations and present that again to the user. So user will just verify it in the final check and say yes, it can go ahead. Then again it can enter the data into the actual SAP or any other ERP systems if required. So that's where the attended bots comes into picture. Where an unattended bot, what happens is most of the times what happens is that data is stored into different systems. We need to go and gather the data from these systems. These systems can be legacy system or it can be modern systems. So if it is modern system, through APIs we connect and get the data. Otherwise we connect directly to the databases or through login through the if it is legacy system, what we do is without doing any modifications, we directly log into the application and gather the data and do the required changes to the, I mean, formatting or validations to the data and collect it and prepare a report and send it. These are actually can be done by the any unattended bots. So unattended bots actually there is no human intervention is required. They just activated automatically within by schedule maybe every day at like 12 o'clock or every day every hour in the first minute. So like that we can schedule it based on the scheduler. It picks it up the data and actually process the data, prepare a report or do the target task actually whatever is required, intended task, and upload that data into wherever it is required. Then there is one more actually where the hybrid bots were required, where the process is well defined, but in between in the process where human interventions were required. So in such cases, we go with the hybrid bot where this is a collection of attended and unattended. So it get both strengths like it brings the flexibility of attended and the scalability of unattended bots. Then the next step is the automation with RPA. The process is how we automate and what is the benefits we get it. When we automate with RPA, what happens is we get the fast benefit relation. It is because like the speed and efficiency with the human, whatever if it is taking some 20 minutes or 30 minutes to complete one process, actually with the RPA bot, it can be done within 2 minutes or less than a minute kind of thing. So it executes the task much faster than humans and it can run round the clock. So human being, I mean, humans actually can do it actually 8 hours or 10 hours per day, but bots can actually execute round the clock. Then the errors. RPA bot actually what it brings is mainly the accuracy and consistency, so that brings minimizing the errors and any typically when people are entering manual, the data actually and repetitive tasks, people used to do some mistakes errors actually where the RPA bot will take care of that. And the scalability is very high here. RPA solutions are easily scalable, which allows organizations to expanding the automation tasks more easily. And employee productivity will be increased. So these mundane tasks actually can be taken by the RPA so that the employee can actually do the better jobs like where the judgment is required and creativity and decision making is required. He can concentrate more onto that particular job actually. And the investment is minimal, but and upfront investment is required for implementing the RPA bot. Minimal, why we are mentioning is the IT infrastructure is either very less or nothing is required here. The bot can run directly from the user's laptop, or it can be deployed at some server where it is having access to all other different systems, source systems. So mostly no infrastructure is required. So if any other automation type, if you go with like middleware implementation where it integrate with different systems, you need to have a separate system to deploy that application. So with RPA, that will not come into picture at all. And the implementation time is very less here because what happens is the RPA frameworks or RPA systems comes with built-in connectors and all the required features to integrate the systems and to gather the data and to even export the data to different formats which are already available. So most of the cases, say 70% of the cases, what happens is we will be utilizing the existing features of the RPA framework, and we will be integrating the systems and bringing the data. Otherwise, what happened is very rare cases based on the process, we will be ending up customizing it, and even the customizations are easy using the RPA systems. So the effort wise also, the development effort here, it will be very less. And there is a very important thing is there is no disruption to the underlying system. So whatever the systems which are going to integrate it, we may not be no need to either update or no need to customize at those systems level. So the RPA, without disturbing those systems, it will collect the data directly either to screen scrap or by logging into that application, get some data like that. It will gather that information, and then actually it will do its final intended task. And most of the times RPA automations are actually led by the business teams than the IT teams. And so most of the times what happens is collaboratively these two teams will work. And yeah, the right side part is actually the RPA, which can be automated in most of the applications. Like it is having the capability of logging into any application. It can connect to the APIs and get the data, or it can copy the data from systems by screen scrap or by directly copying it from the database, retrieving the data, and it can paste the data. That it can enter the data into any system like SAP or Oracle ERP or Microsoft CRM or any other systems. And it can move the files or move the folders from one place to other, and it can read and write the data into the databases, and it can continuously looking into the email client and open the email and read the attachments or read the email body and classify the emails, or even it will read move the attachments to a particular folder and process those attachments, and it can screen scrap the data, or it can make the calculations. So these are the very high level and simple features which is any RPA framework can do it here. And today, I mean, we will be discussing about the scaling part, the challenging of recently we have gone through the marketing trends, and we have gone through one of the report, which is actually we want to bring it here, very useful to the forum. The surprising reality is that RPA is the least scaled in automation technology across the enterprise. So why it is 75% of the firms, what happened is actually they approximately 2/3 of RPA work is performed outside the centralized IT systems. So that means what they do is actually they take it piece by piece, piecemeal approach, and outside their IT departments, instead of automating end-to-end process, what they do is piece of the process actually they do automate, and then actually they leave it remaining pieces. And most of the firms, what actually they are doing is they do not know the total scale and what are the costs associated with the RPA program. So what happened is when they adopt this automation, they are actually instead of going through a COE approach, they directly just get into one or two processes and just implement with only business team. That's where actually they are not able to scale into the expected level. Then 42% of the logic is being expressed within the script. So although RPA vendors promote, what they do is actually when they're promoting it, it's a kind of low code platform like that. Actually, most of the RPA vendors promote it. So companies, what they do is actually they understands that actually there is ITT. I mean, no programs were required or no programming is required. Knowledge is required here, and they just adopt that RPA without much understanding, and they end up into the when actual process, when they find it out, there will be some customization is required. That's where actually they end up into the scrapping, and whatever it can be automated, they'll just automate that part only through RPA, and they'll just leave it there. Where the customization is required, they'll just leave it there. And 45% of the firms actually deal with the bot breakage on a weekly basis or more often. This is actually what happens is most of the times what happens is whatever the systems we are integrating it, those systems were enhanced over the time. During that time, what happens is actually the RPA bots also needs to be enhanced accordingly, but people are not even planned for that. So what happens is the RPA bots are actually bound to fail. So the main challenging here is they have to adapt that. Also, they have to part of they're enhancing the source systems. They have to consider the bots as well. So most of the times, what we do is people. To scale this one, what we suggest is optimize the process before the automation actually. What we do is many cases with the aggressive push to adopt the RPA technology, enterprise were actually quick to automate their existing process without considering it into existing process actually, whether there is any further room for the improvement in the process or not. They will not look it into existing process, whatever is there, just like that they will implement it. But what we suggest is just before automation, just relook into the process, and any improvements can be done in the process. Please do the improvements before itself, then actually automate the process. And also establish the COE, Center of Excellence, where the business and IT teams need to come and share the ownership to scale the RPA. Otherwise, what happens is if it is only IT team takes it into, also they don't understand what is the business teams required, and the business team only takes care and do it actually with low code platform and all. They do it. What they do is they'll implement piece of the process only. They leave it the process actually there itself. So, and the most important thing is change management strategy is very important here. The majority of the automation teams actually what we do is the change reactively for the RPA. Instead of that, actually it needs to be in proactive approach. As soon as the change is happening at the source systems, as part of that plan, the RPA bots also needs to be changed accordingly. So from here, I would like to invite Mr. Mark and Prahlad again, please to take care of how this scale can be addressed through Pix RPA. Yeah, Prahlad.
Thank you. Thank you, Veera. Thanks a lot for your brief session and brief walkthrough. And it was really great that you talked about the challenges, how to, what are the exact challenges in the industry you see in the terms of to scale the RPA processes. So moving ahead, I would just want to quickly walk you through about what Pix Robotic or Pix RPA can do in this area. Quick introduction about Pix RPA. Like what is that? What are they, right? So Pix RPA, it's a platform provider, or we, as we call it in our terms, as a OEM, right? Who have built the product, which is on a low code, no code platform, which is has an office across the major cities and based out of Dubai, Bogota, and Moscow. And they have 90 plus partners. We are one among their partners where we are helping them to in India with our end customers, where we can help automate the use cases and help the end customers in their automation journey, right? So they are a number one RPA platform. They also have similar products like Pix BI, which helps you to analyze the use cases, which will help you to pull up the reports as per the requirements of the end customers or board members. So formulate your reporting systems also. They have around 300 plus customers across the globe, and which are until 100 plus are into enterprise level. Enterprise customers, and they are strength of 150 plus employees, where they're currently placed out in across the globe with a big R&D team where the team is always constant on improving and adding new features to the products, which is around 80 plus members of team where they have. And as you could see, they have Pix RPA, Pix BI, and solutions. So with this solutions and the product tool, these are some of their key clients where they've been focusing on in different sectors of the industries. As you could see, majorly Sukhoi is one of their biggest enterprise customers, where they're helping them to automate their back offices in terms of procurements and HR, where they're also working with Schneider Groups in the manufacturing industry. As you could see in retail and retail and FMCG, they are Burger King is one of the biggest contributor where they're also working in the back office processes. Unilever as such and Donne, those are some of the key customers, and they're also working with the airlines, Seven, and others in government of Republic of Tatarstan. So these are some, as you can see in banking, they are with Alpha and SBR. So these are some of their key customers, where apart from the 300 plus customers which we talked about. So to quickly walk you through about the product, PIX RPA, Intelligent Robot Processing Automation. So just to give you a quick background where they have, it's about not only the product, it's all about having the right set of product, which helps you to scale from one process to multiple processes, which helps you to give the better ROI in the PIX ecosystem. With the process mining tools also, as well as your BI tool, right? So it gives an entire overview of how to identify the right process and how to automate those processes, and then and analytics of those process, whichever is needed, right? So it's a full gamut of a product to suit they have where they can take it up. Major benefits of a Pix RPA platform where we talk about is on the where they have AI support systems, where I talked about R&D team. They have a lot of ML models which have been incorporated in the product, which helps you to not only see the basic processes, but if you want to do something more beyond the processes, if you have any ideas where there are some routine tasks, but can be managed with some new models of ML or AI that can be integrated here, right? And they have orchestrations platform where we talk about Linux environments and multi-platform, right? And they have a framework where you can scale also, and if they have already invested in any of the product, which can which way you want to migrate because of some reasons or anything. So we have a ready build, they have a ready-made build-up framework which can help you to easily migrate from some different competitors due to XYZ reasons. You can get into that. We can do a small POC around it, and we can take it up from there, right? So there are some platforms, and there is, as you see, as maybe Veera was talking about the OCR engines or extracting the data from native applications or native PDF or other applications, right? Where you would need an OCR. So they have built an inbuilt OCR where they can extract the data as it is, which gives you at least more than 85 to 90% of accuracy based on the OCR engine, which they have framework. Right. So here on so where all they have invested, where all the processes have they've used is and majorly in the finance and accounting department, HR department, and customer support. So where you and obviously purchasing and logistic teams. So these are the major key business units where the PixRP robotic process automation has been used. The products and the services has been used for scheduling in HR, like for example, processing CVs, scheduling and interviews, and in purchasing and logistic, they are used in order processing, your PR, and other processes like documentations or entering from one system to the other systems and all that. All right. So here I would like to invite Mark to talk more about the product and the product brief, where you can take it up, understand the more brief on the product. Mark, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Uh, next.
So
Next
Mark,
slide.
do you have the presentation
Yeah.
to take it up,
My
or should I present? Let me take up the presentation.
next slide.
Yeah.
Okay. One moment.
And also, meanwhile, Mark put up the presentation, or I take up the presentation slide. There are, as you could see, you would have seen some polls coming up where you can talk about where there are some questions which will help us to understand your journey in the RPA. Kindly make your time and available and submit your responses accordingly.
Yeah. In the manufacturing industry, RPA can be used for automation of various processes that include both typical processes like back office operations or marketing, as well as industry-specific processes like production planning, management, and control of production operations, etc. If we talk about retail, in the retail industry, you can see the similar picture. There are quite many specific retail industry processes that can be optimized with the help of RPA technology. Now, for example, counterparties management, supply chain management, or maybe search of marketing data. No, and other. I suggest to watch a short video of a robot processing an invoice. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Robot starts. Then robot opens mail and checks emails with invoices. After it, then a robot sends the received data to the OCR module to extract data from invoices. And after it, a robot adds the data from invoices to the sales order in CRM. And as a result, the robot completed the routine task faster than a human. And also, the robot made no errors. No, like we can see, and now robot adds the data to, and so, like I said, robot completed the routine task faster than a human. Yeah, and now let's discuss a few customer cases. Robotization of end-to-end processes of hire to retire in a large Russian mining company, Nornickel. The company has 10,000 of employees, and it is a big load on the HR department. It's necessary to provide access to systems, to the new employees, to form certificates, to issue sick leave and vacation pay, all the way up to the dismissal of employees when it is necessary to remove access to all system and internal work groups in messengers. The company outsourced this process to robots. As a result, they were able to fully automate the end-to-end process, increased employee satisfaction level. In another large manufacturing company, robots help to handle a large number of inquiries that came from customers. The robot received all the calls from customers integrated with the ML model to better understand what the customers were asking for and then respond to the customers. Thanks to the robots, the response time was much faster. Instead of 5 minutes, it became 15 seconds. And since the robots can work around the clock, they were able to respond to requests day and night. At Globus, a large international retail company, a moment. Sorry, something was wrong.
No problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah. At a Globus, a large international retail company, employees have to keep track of shipments in multiple information systems, and employees have to wait for synchronization between systems or manually duplicate information. Robots helped synchronize information between systems and enter counterparty data. The result was a 30% reduction in errors and faster processing. Instead of 40 minutes, the robot processed it in 12 minutes on average. It's for me, it's great result. uh, when we talk about big wins for our clients, we are talking about an integrated approach. RPA practices involves a series of steps to identify processes, evaluate the effect of robotizing them, and then select appropriate process to robotize. Then we need to survey the selected processes and generate PDD, process design document, for the developers. All this is done by the analyst. After him, the developer comes into play and takes the prepared PDD and robotized the process according to it. And throughout all stages, the head of competence center analyzes how successfully the robots work, how much the license are utilized, and much more information about processes and robots. For this purpose, Pix has developed a whole line of product that help at each of the stages. These are Process Studio, Task Mining, RPA, and BI technology. Uh, Choosing the right technology is not enough for making RPA project a success. Getting stakeholder buy-in is critical to successfully scaling an RPA practice. First, you need to find a sponsor and establish communication between the sponsor, IT department, the competence center manager, and HR. The sponsor will not only accept the result of the work, but will also be able to help with difficult situations. For example, to speed up the process of hiring new analysts or developers to the competence center, or can speed up the work of the security department, which at the very beginning can slowly down the process. A strong sponsor is a key to a successful RPA practice. You also need to build communication with the security department so that they can accomplish their tasks quickly. For example, mm, install solutions within the company, give access to the program to new employees and new robots. You also need to build communication with business process owners. So they are interested in robotization and replenish the list of processes for robotization. And you also need to build communication with HR. They will help to communicate with employees who will also add to the list of processes to be robotized. This is very important part for scaling. Also, after it, you need to popularize RPA in the company. There are some approaches for this: top-down approach, bottom-up approach. Each approach has its own pros and cons. We recommend a balanced approach. This is an approach where employees instinctively fill the funnel with robotization ideas, and the sponsors set as a fast pace for the project. And so that we don't have processes that have an insignificant effect, we must prioritize processes. Uh, that that is, once we get an idea for robotization, we need to assess the complexity as well as the effect of robotization, and based on the prioritization, to select the processes. To start with, these are quick wins. Uh, processes with high robotization effect and low complexity, then it's low-hanging fruits. That is less efficient processes, but also low complexity. That is to successful build and grow an RPA practice. We recommend choosing a department or division, examining of processing in it, optimizing them, and then to expand it and move on to other processes. At the first stage, I recommend collecting information on processes to easily start robotizing. Develop a digital transformation strategy so that all participants understand why the company needs an RPA practice. Create of a competence center to gather ideas for robotization and robotize them, and then support the processes. And building of data analytics process. As a second stage, your competence center will robotize your processes. The process doesn't stop there. You go back to the first stage again, but you select other processes and also move on to robotization in other departments. Short summary, use several solutions at once to accelerate the impact of RPA practice. Enlist the sponsors support, build communication between the sponsor, HR, and IT department. Third, popularize the practice in the company. And fourth, and always evaluate the effect of robotization. For closer communication with us, I suggest join our community on LinkedIn.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. It was a lovely session, and you walked us through the brief of what the slides are, and walked us through how the process should be there, defined processes, and how the team has to be structured and all. Thanks a lot for that. Over to you, Vira, for next slides where you talk about some use cases from our end.
Thank you, Prahlad. Yeah. Taking to the next level, what Mr. Mark mentioned, so we just want to mention a few more points here. So how we start, when we start about RPA adoption, actually, the first is what it will do is we need to identify the list of processes that which are all high volume and repetitive in nature. So those are the processes actually which can be automated. That's what these are the minimum basic characteristics of the automation which needs to be fulfilled. Then actually what we do is we do the feasibility check whether the data is available for this each processes or not, and whether the whatever the mentioned systems in the process can be integrated through the RPA or not, and any regulatory and compliance is associated here. We'll verify it, and then we do a small feasibility check on that on all the aspects. So once we do prepare a report on that, then for each process we'll evaluate that level of automation. It can be, it's not that it does not mean that actually the automation for each process is 100% can be achieved. For some of the process, it can be 100% achieved. For some of them, 80% can be achieved. It's all based on the, depending on the nature of the process. And then what we do is once we list out all the processes and feasibility check on the level of automation it is, then we will identify which are, as Mark mentioned, that quick gains and low hanging fruits and all like that we'll mark it. So we will prioritize based on that the complexity of the process and which can be adopted more quickly. That will be considered as a priority one, like that we'll define the priority. Then we take it for the phase-wise approach for each process. So as part of the implementation approach, what we do is we do a proper requirement study and analyze it and prepare a PDD, that's a process definition document, And then based on that, we take it to the next level, that is design and development. In the design and development, actually, we do prepare the clearly define the design document and how what is as it is, how it is going to be. And we, as per the PDD, we'll define it everything in the design document. And then we do create the stubs for the development environment if required any source systems which cannot be given. What we do is we create the stubs and we implement the we develop the bots and we do the integration and testing it here. And then actually we move to the staging environment. And the staging, actually what we do is we do the pre-UAT demo and training to the business users. Then actually we conduct the UAT. And during the UAT, if any issues were there, it will be taken care and fix it. Then actually we move to the production and hypercare mode. During the hypercare mode, actually our team will take care of completely available with the customer, and we do the required support we provide it, and we continue with providing the post-production support. And we do IMSS side, we do have good experience on the RPA, and we have around more than 200 processes were automated till date. And we excel in all three segments like government, public, and private. We closely work with multiple state governments during the COVID period. And uh, we have optimized multiple processes in the government sector. And in finance accounting, actually, we do reconciliation. We implement the reconciliation bots, and end to end, we automated in invoice processing. And also we automated implement some bots actually for esteemed customers like vendor onboarding, customer onboarding, check processing, like that. And also we closely work with AutoCAD team on two different aspects. We implemented for one of the esteemed customer, converting the 2D diagrams, which is actually engineers were prepared. Those diagrams actually we are automatically converting to AutoCAD 3D diagrams. And we developed the bots for that, which is very complex process. And also road rehabilitation design, where the engineers are entering the measurements in an Excel, and those Excel data we are converting to AutoCAD civil diagrams. And we do develop the process, automated the process, like for one of the call center, where we do go through the audios of the calls and collect the data from the call data and also from the database. And we collect the call which are actually failed calls and successfully completed calls, feedback, all those things. We prepare, collect the data from different systems, and we prepare a report and end of the day, and we used to share it with the management level. So for that, we created some bot actually, and we extensively worked on HR domain, where we automated the process, employee onboarding process we automated, and also IT ticket creation, IT ticket classification we have done. And also for one of the staffing agency, we implement the bot for automatically downloading the profiles based on the inputs from the Excel, and classifying those resumes and highlight in the resume also whatever is mentioned in the Excel file, and keep them into the folders. And we implemented for one of the manufacturing company that materials which is used for the production, and the actual materials, I mean the planned and actual consumed the materials during the production, and the comparison report we prepared, and also inventory stock updates we have taken through the bot. And we have implemented a process for one of the state government police department for the passport police verification, where multiple documents were uploaded from the passport office to police department, and that those documents actually we what we do is download, and actually through the OCR actually we do extract the information and help the police official. And once the police prepare the verification is done, and whatever the data he collected, that data we used to upload it into multiple departments like passport and within the police website and other subsequent dependent portals. So we do these are the very high level some of the bots which we have implemented for the multinational and state governments. and we do have expertise. I mean, we closely collaboratively work with PICS in during the development and implementation side. And if you see, we have done below integrations. We have integrated with SAP, Oracle, Microsoft CRM, Tally, and Autodesk C3 redesigns, and Autodesk Revit diagrams, K2 logical doc, and even for reports generation, we integrated with Power BI. So we have good amount of expertise in the RPA, and we do have more than 20 plus certified professionals. So we are happy to hear from you for any help actually on automating on any processes. We are here to help. Thank you very much. Over to
Thank
Prabha.
you, Veera. It was great presentations, and thanks for briefing what expertise you bring on the table and where all the implementation has been done and what all the different set of processes or different set of products used in amalgamation of while bringing up the presentation uh, or while doing the RPA journey altogether. Thank you. Thanks a lot for that. So having said that, I during yes, I could see some hand raised, as in I do see there is Tejas who have a question. Let me unmute Tejas.
Hello.
Yeah, hi Tejas.
Yeah, hi, am I audible?
Yeah, Tejas, we can hear you.
Yeah, we have implemented this RPA in our company. So I have one question: whether the software is template based or template free is available, because different vendors will have different formats. So this we have implemented in accounts payable side. So we are using this for processing of different invoices. So as of now, the
Okay.
software which we are using now, it is based on template. So is there any
Okay.
development on template free?
I'll ask maybe Veera or Mark, you want to take this up?
Hi Tejas. As of now, no, these are the template based only because different templates are available in India. So as of now, it's not template based. It's actually templates are required.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So as you guys can see the screen where I was talking about some of the digital garage, right? So we talked about the challenges. We talked about the solution for those challenges. So is there any, what I wanted to make an announcement as we are at the uh, beginning of this fiscal year, and most of, as we also heard from Tejas, that they are already have implemented the RPA, but there are a few challenges with he's facing, and there would be challenges where you want to scale the RPA from one process to the other process. So we can be along with PICS RPA team and PICS R&D team, we can be your best partner where we can do a half a day session within your organization. That is what we say a digital garage, where we will help you to identify the processes which can be automated further. Also will help you to, as Mark was talking about, to public to promote your RPA within the organization. So if you need any kind of help there to promote the RPA and its benefits within the organizations or across the board members, we can help you there so that it gets a spread wide across, and you can build the use cases and reap the benefits. Also, so that's where we can do a quick half a day session, and then followed up, we can also work on the POCs for picking up some one of the process and showing how does that automation can work in your environment and what are the benefits you can get out of it. So that is where we can talk about it. Having said that, we are at the end of our session. I guess we took 5 minutes more of the time which we discussed. Here are quick takeaways from the today's session, right? We discussed about what is the RPA. We discussed about how the product looks like from the Pix RPA, and we also discussed about the challenges and how to scale the RPA. Having said that, you can freely reach out to any one of us. We have here are the contact details, as you could see. Mr. Veera Reddy from Integra Micro, and Mark from Pix RPA, and Prahlad Singham, that is me, who will be helping you out to take your journey ahead and get more automation done and help your end customers to get much benefits and help your employees to have their free space, and so that they can have the balance in their work. Also, we can utilize them into much more customer engagement kind of roles. Having said this, thanks a lot for everyone, your time and patiently listening to us. And I would like to turn on any questions, anyone who would want to ask about or any challenges they are facing or anything they want to add to here. And I'll turn on to the Q&A sessions and see if there is any question and answers we can answer. Okay, there are multiple questions which I could see here, and due to the time, I'll just pick the first one, which is I could see here. What are the differences between the licenses, or how the licensing will work? So here, obviously, yes, we would have one-on-one discussion on the licenses part. And to give you a quick introduction, there are multiple platforms, and there are some OEMs who has a different style of productizing or commercializing their licenses. Currently, what with Pix RPA and along with Pix RPA, Integra Micro, we can help you out. Not to There'll be one-time investments on the automation side of it to build the framework, to build the entire journey of automation for a process, but then you have to make an investment on the bots rather than doing any development license payment commercials for the development license. So here it's not necessary where you don't have to just pay for the studio license or a runner license or something like that. You have to just to pay for the bots. That is one of the model which we have. And to the team, whoever wants to have more discussion, let's connect one-on-one and we can brief you more on this. So thank you everyone for joining. Have a great day ahead. Look forward to talking to you soon and helping you and your customers to automate more and more process. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Veera, and thank you, Mark, for your lovely session.